Today we'll talk about me joining Neo Tokyo, crypto vulnerability and ledger updates, how new Memecoins scam holders on the project's liquidity, portfolio updates, and new mobile casual gaming studio Beam ecosystem gem. Hey guys, so the first update is that I joined Neo Tokyo yesterday. I wanted to join it for quite some time. I basically bought NFT for 15.5 ETH and yeah, I'm a member of the community currently, checking out a lot of stuff there. I probably can't share a lot of information from there, but there are interesting things being discussed there and at the same time the tokens that I hold, they're also being discussed there, which is quite nice. Some of them, the main ones for this channel, so it's up to you to figure them out. Something interesting also happened yesterday. So last week we had the issue with revoke access, where basically everyone was revoking access due to the vulnerability in the smart contracts with certain platforms. And yesterday there was an issue with MetaMask and basically wallet connect functionalities and ledger connect functionalities as well. Some of the wallets, they got drained if you would try to connect to certain services, and actually most of the services in Web3. So it was a recommendation not to connect to anything and just wait out till this issue will be fixed. An interesting thing is that first step that you would take in this type of situation is revoke accesses to everything. And in this case, revoke access was something that was actually draining your wallets, which kind of puts the whole picture together on the fact that these attacks, they might be combined, because in the first place these guys, they're doing something with revoke access and get to know more people about revoke access, how to do that and things like that. And then they introduce the hack that if you're trying to revoke access, you're getting drained, which is quite crazy. I'm not sure about the situation currently. How I do plan to move forward and behave with my wallets is just to move stuff that I do want to trade fast and things like that to the hot wallet. And the other thing, just store on some wallet that I never touch in terms of connecting to any Web3 services and things like that. Mean Defense helped in solving the situation. They basically had Twitter space on this yesterday as well. And in Neo Tokyo, they helped a lot of guys essentially in terms of providing advice, what to do, what not to do, and things like that. It's kind of interesting how it might be connected with institutions trying to push a narrative that the space is not safe and things like that, because I saw a lot of panic yesterday too. So it's quite interesting. And me personally, I'm following diversifying strategy, so I have multiple wallets and I do actually hold the funds on exchanges as well, but I do hold certain chunks of funds on different exchanges. So it's kind of diversification in my case that I have all the eggs in different buckets as well. A funny video from the guy, but the situation is not so funny. So he said that 2 mutant apes and 1 bored ape was drained from the wallet and he's breaking his ledger with a hammer. So that's unfortunate, and I'm sorry for this guy as well. I also was doing a research on a couple of wallets yesterday, and it's quite interesting. That's something that I wanted to share, because here you can see that the guy has $2 million in the wallet. If we would actually click and see what type of assets he has, so he has Vega at 900,000 and VPP at 750k, which is crazy. I think it might be the wallet of the investors into the project as well. And I would tell you why I think it's bullish. So we see that these funds, this amount of tokens, they were transferred 6 months ago. So if we have December currently, that should be around May and June. And this amount of tokens following current prices is 1,360k. Why I think that the fact that someone is holding 1.3 million VPP is bullish is the fact that if we would check VPP on DEX tools currently, so we can see that the liquidity that is provided by all the people essentially that are participants of this token is 213k. So this fund, or this guy, he understands, it's probably a fund actually. So this fund, they understand that they will be not able to take profits because the max that they can take out is 200k, and they will just dump the price and everyone would be selling. So it doesn't make sense to them. And it's kind of the same situation that you had with Solana as well, because on Solana there was a huge period of essentially VCs buying out the token, and then they will pump in the whole thing up, and then at the highs on each correction they were selling a bit of token, because you can only sell at the correction, because if you force the dump yourself, people will understand that you're forcing the dump, and they will start dumping themselves as well. Very interesting thing that happened is that 8 days ago this guy, he transferred half of these volumes on Max. So he has around 700k worth of VPP on Max. currently. And that might be a sell-off, essentially, in terms of planning to redistribute and take profits on this amount of tokens as well. The goals that I have for VPP is actually, I think that we might go closer to 0.12, 0.125. After that, we will see a correction. So this is actually the goal that I have, is to wait till 0.125 and then basically sell a chunk on the correction. So probably take a bit of the initial outs, maybe 2 or 3x from the initial. After that, I would be expecting a correction. And I think on that correction, these guys, they will be taking profits on this chunk that they send to Max as well. And here as well. So this wallet, it only had 80k in VPP, but it's interesting that same day, same time, from this wallet, it was also sent, the half of the amount was also sent to Max. So this sum is about 70-80k in VPP because I have around half of that. So these are the updates on this thing. I think it's actually positive because what they would want to do and how they play, they would want to take profits on the amount they have. With the current liquidity, they can take out 1.3 million. They definitely need more players to come into the market. Therefore, I think they will be pumping the token till 2024, 2025. They will be increasing the amount of players who are sitting in this token, retail and things like that, and then basically fixating and taking profits and dumping it all on the faces. So that's how we see in this industry work. That's what I think they will be doing, because currently there is 200k liquidity here. Obviously there is some liquidity on the centralized exchanges as well, but not much. I do believe there is a maximum of 200k liquidity on exchanges like Max at this stage in comparison to decentralized infrastructure on Uniswap and liquidity pools that the token have. So we saw a bit of the pump currently. Yeah, I think it's from yesterday. Yeah, it's from yesterday. And we saw a bit of the pump today as well. So I was not actually checking out the reason for that. So I think that the main reason is just Becker pushing his Gabmlifi narrative, and a lot of people kind of picking it up, and they're seeing that the token will go up. And it's still a nice play if you would want to trade on the fact that he will be mentioning it on his video, because right now the market cap is already around 8 million. I think it will probably go higher, closer to the video. It might be the case that video will be coming on Saturday or Sunday this week. This is probably the case, so we don't have much time left. But anyway, like, it still holds the prices from the last week, from expectations that Becker will mention it on a video. So the market cap is actually higher a bit than it was essentially last week as well. So we'll just crawl and move slowly and increasing the market cap, and eventually he will mention it on the video. I think the current pump is connected with the fact that he would likely be mention it in the video, but we'll see, because there are multiple hints, and he basically, these are not hints because he confirmed it himself that VPP is going places. Gambling bags, gaming bags. Yeah, so gaming bags do another casual 50 plus gain because he would probably be mentioning them. And it makes zero sense that one of the top 5 gaming coins is a gambling coin. Gambling is an absolute cash cow that rivaled the entire AA gaming space. Entire cities are dedicated to it. If it fits with crypto like Pod and Taco Bell soon, there are all Gabmlifi will reprice. The interesting thing here is something that I mentioned in the previous videos, that with gambling you have real cash flow, real revenue, and it's way healthier type of businesses. And it's kind of like selling alcohol or selling cigarettes, because you won't have a high churn rate, because it's an addiction. So people start playing, they continue playing, they continue to either losing money or winning money, but at the same time it's a very nice lifetime value of the customer. They keep up with you, they continue using your business and your service for many years. And even Becker, on his previous video on Saturday, he mentioned that he's still using old gambling website that he was using, that he maybe was like 20-25 or something. So it's very nice LTV in terms of this thing. So Hassel also mentioned something. He did not mention VPP and Polker here. This token is actually the coin that he gave a call on in his private community yesterday, and I was not able to buy because I was not too quick to bridge the funds to Solana, because you can only buy it on DEX, which kind of is bullish for me. It's casino on Solana, so I'm giving you this call away because he obviously gave the call here, so it's 2x from there, but it's still a low market cap, and fully diluted is also low. And the guy mentioned that he's spoken with the team, and essentially I'm bullish on casinos, especially on Solana, and I think it would be a very nice play for me, because I don't have any exposure to Solana ecosystem, and it's just everything in one. So it's casino, it's gaming, it's Gabmlifi, it's Solana, it's real revenue, nice team and things like that. So I sold all of my WINR, so this might be a nice purchase for me. But yeah, especially after me mentioning it here, we don't have a lot of subscribers, but I don't think that this will go down anytime soon, because if we check out how WINR was moving after he called it, it was not going down vastly as well. So it's only going down currently because there are unlocks for the investors, and Hustle is still bullish on this one. It's just that I think currently the market cap is false here, so it should be around 50 million at this stage, 50-70 million, because if you would check out their tokenomics, they have daily unlocks and things like that. He obviously gave the call here, so it went up, and yeah, it didn't dip till 0.09. So I'm not sure if I actually would need to get into this solo casino now, or maybe do it later. But yeah, I will probably miss this one, but it's up to you. I still think it's a low market cap, and he obviously will be pushing it moving forward. It's just that the amount of tokens that he mentioned here is just one of them. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I like focus when people basically are mentioning something like, you know, that's low market cap and then maybe one or two choices, and it makes sense why they have to mention a lot of tokens, because they can't just focus on one thing, because they have a large audience that will pump the token right away. So I don't have something like this. I can be mentioning VPP and Polker whole day and just begging you to buy for the future of yours, your family, your kids and grandkids and things like that. So Polker is doing pretty nicely. 40k in Polker, that's a clean 4x for me at this stage. At the same time, I would probably be taking 2 or 3x of the initials out, which would be 18 to 27k for me, somewhere around at a 10x. So I think it's around 18-90k. So it should do a 2x from here, which it definitely can do. By the way, the market cap is false. If you check on CoinGecko, I tend to believe larger market caps, because I tend to believe larger market caps. It's just better from the point of view of, you know, planning things. So yeah, if we check on CoinGecko, this one is paying and is at 8.7 and Polker is 7 million. It was interesting thing that if we would check out the chart that I was showing here, for example, so a guy I know, he was basically buying Polker at this stage, and this is the chart that I was showing in the previous videos. This is the relation of VPP in comparison to Polker, so the value. So at the high, VPP is overvalued than Polker, and the low, Polker is overvalued in comparison to VPP. And the interesting thing that the guy I know was doing, he was buying and rebalancing from VPP to Polker here, because VPP was on the highs and Polker was on the lows, and currently he would be waiting a bit and then rebalancing from Polker to VPP. So it's a very nice rebalancing strategy with these two tokens, because they go in pair, and it's a great strategy in terms of increasing the amount of tokens that you have without the need to put like new money into the market as well. And you can also do it not only when it pumps, you can also do it when it dumps as well. So it's a very, very nice strategy. I'm not applying this myself just because I don't have like the same level of knowledge and skill and things like that. For me, it's better to focus on making money and just putting more money into the whole thing. So there are some predictions that after we would basically see 0.125, it can go to 0.02, with probably the correction that we would see on the whole market as well. And I'm ready for this. I will just buy more, because with me understanding the funds and seeing the funds, Pantera Capital, Consensus, understanding that these guys, they need to take profits on this thing, so they will be pumping this whole thing up with Becker. Guys, it's blue chip Gabmlifi token. I'm sure it will be at 700 million, 800 million, so like 100x from here. I think it's very, very possible in the full bull, and I think it's very, very possible even in 2024, so not in 2025. So I'm waiting for this one, and they will not take me out of my tokens. They will not do it. I will take initials out once we pump more, and I will buy more once we dip. So that's pretty straightforward. The other topic that I wanted to talk about is liquidity in new meme tokens, and how they're basically scamming kind of their holders. In terms of the holders, they're basically not able to take profits to the amount of money that they want, because the overall liquidity that is circulating on the market is low, and they're holding most of the liquidity on some frozen wallets, which kind of blocks current holders from taking a lot of profit. So something interesting happened on Wolf. So we see this red candle from highs to bottom, and we see that the whole liquidity is 400k, despite the fact that market cap is 20 million. Bobo, 400k liquidity, almost the same. Market cap is 262. So the reason for that is that liquidity in Bobo is evenly distributed between the players on the market. It does not have any frozen liquidity in between the creators of the token and people like that, and it's evenly spreaded. So it's way healthier for the token. From a different point of view, it's harder to push bobo up, and it's harder to kind of market it this way, because if you would put 100k into bobo, it may jump to like maybe 5 million, 6 million market cap. If you would put 100k in wolf, it would probably jump to 30 million market cap, and everyone will be screaming, wow, it did 1.5x and things like that. Although imagine that you put 20k at, let's say, 600k market cap, and you've done like, let's say 20x. So it would be 400k, but the whole liquidity is 400k. So you would never take profits on your 400k this way. And that's something that these tokens are basically doing. And the same thing that we see is basically with pepe and BONK. So some of the liquidity they have on centralized exchanges as well. Pepe liquidity is 12.4 million and the market cap is 600 million. BONK liquidity is 4.5 million and market cap is 3 times higher than pepe's market cap. It's just crazy. And obviously if you have like smaller amount of money, you probably were able to put like, I don't know, like 20 bucks here and then turn it into like 30k, and you will be able to take out this 30k. But people with larger amount of money, they won't be able to take profits on this one. When you're taking profits, you're moving the price stronger than if you're taking profits on pepe, because liquidity, kind of market cap liquidity ratio here is way better than in this thing. The positive that you might see here is that the fact that there is a very low amount of tokens in circulation here and on Wolf as well, which can signalize that there may be some people behind, like VCs or original creators of the token, that still hold a lot of frozen liquidity of the token, and that therefore if someone is controlling large amount of liquidity of the token, it's easier for them to pump this token because they can dump the whole thing, they can buy out more tokens, and they can be buying this token out from themselves, therefore pumping the price, therefore basically surging it up as well. So it's a very, very interesting type of setup because, yeah, I see pepe and bobo as something like stronger, and BONK and Landwolf is something of this like new cycle. But at the same time, like this situation is just crazy. Just look at this liquidity, just look at these market caps. Same liquidity, market cap 7 times lower, almost 10 times lower on bobo than on wolf. And with BONK the same thing. Liquidity on BONK is lower in 1.5 times than on pepe, and pepe market cap is 3 times lower than BONK. And obviously it's easier to market because BONK is a billion market cap and things like that, but you need way more money in pepe to have the same market cap. Therefore it's way healthier because it signalizes that liquidity is spread evenly between all of the holders. And here is just a bit of the con play, I would say. Some updates into the portfolio as well. So I am at 80,000 profit at this stage overall. And I actually a bit more. I think it's about 90k because I sold WINR. I should probably remove it from my portfolio. As mentioned, I just wanted to wait on this until I do a portfolio. I actually sold it at a profit of 900 bucks. So I don't have any WINR, but I have RST, which actually did a 2x. But it's not on coin market cap yet. It's still on only CoinGecko. I will probably talk about it a little bit later. In terms of the WINR, so interesting thing, yeah, let's update the page because I have 0 in WINR currently. I've sold it somewhere around here, so it definitely was not the high. So the narrative that I have here is that I check out the tokenomics. They have unlocks to the investors daily from day one. So I don't like just sit there and being dumped on. And it also was the call from Hustle in the game. In his private community, and he's kind of pushing that it will go up and people are selling much, kind of overrunning the huge unlocks that happened on 15th to 18th of December for this token. But I don't think it's still for me because market cap, if you check out according to the tokenomics, because the market cap, as far as I can think and as far as I can understand, is wrong. On CoinGecko it's wrong, on WINR it's wrong, because according to the tokenomics, and Hustle was saying it in one of the chats as well, that it should be around 50 million at this stage. And if you follow this channel for quite some time, you know I'm not buying tokens with 50 million market cap. I'm a proper degen. I'm buying low caps. And I'm sitting in my low caps. I'm not buying 50 million tokens. So I think this thing can surge, and because they still have a nice narrative. It's on Arbitrum, they have revenue, it's infrastructure play for casinos. The white paper is pretty interesting as well. Yeah, a lot of things that are beneficial and positive for these tokens as well. But they have unlocks for 36 months or something. I do think it will be able to catch up to Rollbit in the bull, or basically at least be like a portion of Rollbit. I just think that in terms of me sitting in this token, don't see much sense at this stage. I probably will buy back into this token once we would see a correction. So maybe at 30k, because it's still a nice casino play, depending on the market cap that this thing would basically have, because I'm not buying anything at 15-70 million at this stage. But once I would be basically putting more of this tether into the market, I might buy larger tokens as well. Interesting thing also happened with Bitcoin Frog. So if you would check one of the previous videos, I was buying a Bitcoin Frog at 0.13. So it almost did a 2x since then. I say again that I think it will be a multi-Bitcoin type of NFT. And what kind of gives me confidence in this, that if you would check the activity, you have daily sales like 4 minutes, 8 minutes, like people are buying it, like they bought 10 of them just recently. So it's crazy. And if you check other larger collections that are connected to BTC, BRC20 and stamps and things like that, they don't have such activity. So I think it's a blue chip. As mentioned in my previous video, I would probably be buying more of them once we see a correction. Now I'm thinking that I would probably want to buy more of them initially when I was buying my first one. I was following my risk management strategy, and yeah, I think I would be buying more once we see a correction, because BTC might correct to 30k and these prices, they will go down as well, because currently I think if we would divide 45k by 5, that's like 9k, and I was buying mine for 5.8 or something, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, I think it's a great community. I think they will definitely pump up, and I do believe it will be a multi-Bitcoin type of opportunity once we're in the full bull. RST, interesting things happen. So it was climbing slowly, and then it surged a bit. So currently I did a 2x on RST, and the reason for that is because they recently got acquired, and it's actually a really nice thread on this. This token is being discussed in Neotoken as well, and in some other communities that I'm in, so it's kind of huge. It was acquired by Seed in another fund, and it's a very nice thread on what actually is happening within the token. The things that I like is that it focuses on casual games. I don't think there are a lot of casual games out there that are connected with Web3. I think the main issue is the user experience, because you need to integrate and implement the user experience that is easy to understand and easy to use for casual players with crypto as well. And there are things that you can do already. IMX and MoonPay, they have some nice introductions. They have some nice implementations and integrations in terms of actually buying things from your credit card and things like that. So there's definitely utility for that. It's just that casual games, they are one of the most profitable segments on mobile gaming market. So it's very, very crazy if you would actually have a successful casual mobile game connected with crypto. I think that X Infinity kind of did that, because they're quite casual, and like last cycle it was just crazy. I think they didn't figure out the play turn part and this deflationary thing. But here, yeah, it's a casual mobile game in studio, and you have all of the team members, they keep working in the company, and it's a studio, so it's also diversified. So it's not that you're investing in one game. It's also on Beam. It's only on Beam currently, so once it will be published on exchanges, it will pump. It is also VC backed currently, so they will have more funding for development of the game, for marketing as well. And at the same time, it has first mover advantage on Beam. So I missed Beam. I was not exposed to the ecosystem, and I wanted exposure. That's why I bought into RST, and it's doing nicely currently, 2x at this stage. But I think it have a potential to move up as well. It's a large market cap for me, because I've entered at around 15 to 20 million. Fully diluted is around 60 million, but I think it's a very, very nice play, and now I will definitely hold this token long term. So guys, this is it in terms of the overview. Very good and interesting stuff is happening. I'm glad to join Neotoken and get alpha and value from there as well. I think we will have a run up currently in terms of Gabmlifi tokens and gamified tokens, probably to a couple more weeks. And closer to the end of year, I would be looking to take profits on some of them. Maybe take the initial out, but I will check for myself. I will probably be taking initial outs on the tokens that pumped like a lot. And with things like RST, I will probably hold most of my tokens, because and again, I don't care about dollar value much. I care about the amount of tokens that I have and I hold till 2024, 2025. And that's the most important thing for me to leverage on this as well. Let me know what you think about these longer type of videos. That's like a full overview that happened of the things that happened yesterday. If it's something that's quite interesting, I would probably be doing longer overviews of the videos. Thank you and see you in the next one. Bye bye.